What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have some important news to go over for this week in the market. We have a lot going on, like bank earnings, Powell's talking, and the market's going kind of crazy right now. On Monday of last week, the market kind of looked like it was tanking, but then just completely reversed and broke all-time highs. We have electric vehicle stocks popping off as usual, and then some other interesting news. At the end of the video, we have a $3.5 million option for this week, so make sure you guys stick around for that. And if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Tom and I post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, what happened over the weekend?
Yeah, I actually have a pretty interesting article that CNBC went ahead and reported, and we can see that Tesla here is at 884.49 right now as of Friday, and that's an awesome number to see. Tesla's at all-time highs, but on Thursday, Elon Musk tweeted to his followers to use an app called Signal, which is an encrypted messaging app that's pretty much like Facebook Messenger and stuff like that, where you can just talk privately, but all the messages are encrypted on there. And shares of an unrelated company called SIGL, or Signal Advance, traded over 527% on Thursday and over 91% on Friday. But the thing is that this stock, Signal Advance, is not even the same company as Signal, the messaging app. It's just that people got confused and thought that it was the same app and bought it anyways. And you can see how much that they've popped the past 2 days just because they thought that this was the same app that Elon Musk was talking about.
Wow, you definitely don't see that every week. I mean, that's pretty insane. It went from what, like 58 cents to $10 in what, 2 days?
Yeah, 58 cents to $10 in 2 days, and it's not even relevant to the messaging world at all.
Wow, that's funny news. What else happened over the weekend?
COVID is killing nearly 3,000 people in the US every single day as the CDC warns of a surge event from the possible Capitol riots. And keep in mind, this is what CNBC reported. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the Johns Hopkins COVID map here just so that we can see how bad it's actually getting. And if we look on the right side of our screen here, this is the daily cases right here in yellow right here. So we can see how it's actually still kind of going up, even though, the cases should be going down. They're still going up, even though the vaccine has technically been released and all that stuff. We're still getting more cases. And then with daily deaths, you can see daily deaths are also still growing. So we're almost up to like the 14,000 daily death mark as far as global deaths goes, which that's pretty bad. 14,000 people dying daily. Those numbers aren't too good. And really they're saying that as the winter comes and as people start protesting and gathering and stuff like that, that these numbers could start rising. So don't be surprised if we start to see articles that say like, COVID cases start to surge based on protests or something like that. And they also did that in the past whenever there were protests last year as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not good news to see. I've seen a lot of articles saying, surges because of Christmas and then New Year's and, any event. So overall, it's not good to see such high numbers, but the market's still breaking all-time highs, what seems like every week. So we're definitely in a very interesting situation right now. So what's going on with bank earnings this week? I mean, bank stocks have just been exploding over the past couple weeks. I love them for the long term, but what's happening this week?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of eyes on these bank stocks. JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo all report earnings this week, and this is going to be huge for the banking industry. Like you said, they've been really popping over the past few weeks. Pretty much JP Morgan's popped from around $110 all the way up to $136 over the past few weeks, like we said. So they've really been popping. JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo are the three that are going to report. And I think a lot of people are going to be watching them given the movement that we've seen lately. And if we have bad earnings, then we could possibly see a slight pullback in these bank stocks that have just been exploding the past couple months.
Good stuff. And then what's going on with Powell?
Yeah, Powell will be speaking on Thursday, which is pretty good to see. He's going to have a web conference from Princeton University. So just keep in mind that he's just going to be talking about CPI inflation data and different stuff like that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of talks from him. He might talk about COVID and he might talk about the riots as well, or the protests. So we'll have to see what he says. But really, it's just going to be a webcast from Princeton University.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this is not an FOMC conference like with the Federal Reserve. This is just Powell speaking from Princeton. So it's not like his normal meeting, but of course, if he says something significant, then it can move the markets as always. But let's get right into our member of the day. Today's member of the day is a YouTube commenter, Outlaw Star. So Tom and I just wanted to give a huge thank you and shout out to you for always leaving comments on the videos. We really appreciate it. Comments really help grow our channel. So thank you so much for all of the comments. And now let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. The first one is NIO, and it actually broke all-time highs on Friday. It's running up with the rest of these EV stocks. Tom, what levels should we be watching? And I know that there was NIO Day this weekend, so keep that in mind too.
Yeah, for sure. And NIO also partnered with Nvidia over the weekend to go ahead and make another electric car because Nvidia is one of the leaders in AI technology with their graphics cards, and they're going to help NIO be able to actually make a self-driving car or an automatic driving car, kind of like Tesla has. And that's very interesting. As like we said, Nvidia is one of the largest graphics card companies in the world, and their stock price is all the way up to like $531. So obviously, that's a very good partnership for NIO if they can work with Nvidia and actually get a car made with them. And I think this could really skyrocket them, but really make them break above. I would honestly make them break above $60 because I think the pre-market movement is going to be pretty insane on NIO on Monday.
Gotcha. And then, of course, Tesla too. What's going on there?
Yep, Tesla. Go ahead and make them pop above 885.
All right. And then we have QS, but to the downside.
Quantum Scapes. Go ahead and make them fall below 56.
All right. And then last but not least, we have Peloton to the upside.
Yeah, this one's actually coming back a little bit after falling, but make them pass above 160.
Sounds good. All right, well, let's get right into the unusual options activity for this week. We are looking at a $3.5 million option. We are looking at the Apple 134 strike calls that expire this Friday, January 15th. Like I said, there was about $3.5 million put into this play. It's only about $2 to $3 out of the money, and it has all week. It looks pretty decent, and with the markets breaking all-time highs, I would have to say it looks like Apple's going to continue up as of right now. Now, if some random catalyst comes out or if the market completely changes direction during the day, obviously that can change that. But given all of the catalysts right now, I think Apple can hit 134 by Friday. Just looking at the current market movement, but keep in mind that can change depending on catalysts that come out and just market movement in general. So, what are you seeing with Apple?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Apple right now is going to be all of the news that's coming out. Obviously, there's a lot of unfortunate news with Apple like banning certain apps and stuff. So hopefully people don't start to like go short on Apple because of that. But I don't think that'll affect Apple too much. And really, it does look bullish on the chart. I would think that they would be able to hit 134 this week as well.
Sounds good. And then if you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. But let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Benjamin saying, what do you think about Wells Fargo? I know you guys like the main ones like Bank of America and JP Morgan, but Wells Fargo looks really good on the technicals. While they had a lot of issues in the past, lawsuits are in the past. Cheers. So Wells Fargo, it can be good for a short-term trade. Usually they have well-priced options, and they're typically more volatile than JP Morgan and Bank of America. But for the long term, I like Bank of America and JP Morgan a lot better because they are in a much better financial position. So, if you're just looking for a quick trade, like, a day trade or like a trade for a couple days, Wells Fargo can be great. But for the long term, I just like JP Morgan and Bank of America a lot better. So, they're not bad for short-term trades. So then we have Callan talking about Workhorse, Tom. So this actually had a pretty good day on Thursday, but tanked off on Friday. What are you seeing?
Yeah, a lot of these other EV stocks actually went up on Friday, so it was pretty surprising to see Workhorse actually have that red day. But it's looking like they're actually pretty bearish right now. I'm hoping that they can pop back up and possibly head back towards 28 or even higher, especially if NIO and Tesla keep breaking all-time highs. That would be very good for Workhorse if they could keep moving to the upside. But it just looks like that with that big red day on Friday, it brought some negative movement into the stock. I think we'll just have to see what happens. I'm honestly more of neutral on it this week.
Good stuff. And then we have Matt saying, what is your opinion on EH?
Yeah, I've not actually never heard of this stock, Yang Holdings, but it looks like they are popping over the past few months. And I will say that it looks like a pretty bullish setup right now. It could keep going down from here, but it looks like one of those cases where we just see a staircase up and a staircase up and possibly another staircase up here. But I think the next couple days are really going to tell. I could really see this stock moving one way or the other this week.
Sounds good. And then we have Mr. Smith saying, great show, Mike and Tom. What do you think about Fastly? With earnings coming up, overall, they have solid fundamentals. Can they test all-time highs again? Thanks. Keep up the amazing job. So let's take a look at Fastly. It looks like they've really just been trading sideways, like in the channel for actually since July. Wow. So yeah, they've been pretty stagnant. I think now can be a pretty decent time to pick them up for the long term. But Tom, can you just like draw some like support and resistance lines or some technicals or anything to like show like your analysis for this?
Yeah, for sure. I see a pretty good support actually around the $75 area. I think that you can see that the stock hit that quite a few times over the past few months. But let me just make this line a little thicker so everybody can see it. But here we go. So now you can really see how it hit this support quite a few times. You could also say then that there's a resistance up here around $100. So I see a pretty good range between $75 and $100. And right now we're sitting around $88. So I think we could see another move to the upside, possibly up to 100 or possibly down to the downside towards 75. But I would just look at some confirmation and see what happens with it before you get in. But Fastly is one of those stocks that had a lot of hype, and I think that they'd be for a really good pickup for the long term, just like you said.
Gotcha. So I'm sure they will test all-time highs. It just depends when, obviously, like on their earnings and then COVID numbers and then just news from the stock overall. But I'm sure they will in the long term, and I think now's a pretty decent time to pick them up for the long term. With the next question, we have Angelo saying, what do you guys think of EBON? Do you guys think it will do what Riot and Mara did? So let's take a look. It doesn't look too good in my opinion, Tom. I've never even heard of this company. I'm just looking at the chart. What do you think?
Yeah, the good news is that they held that $4 support. I think, it's a very low price stock. So just keep in mind, it's going to be very volatile, but it did hold kind of that $4 support, which is good. And it's starting to pop off of that. So as long as we can hold that, it would be pretty good. But the stock is up quite a bit right now from $4, sitting around $6.90. So I don't really know what to think of it. I think that this would be more of a fundamental play. Like if you like them for the long term and you know the fundamentals of the company, then I think it would be a good long-term hold, just given the movement that I'm seeing now. But just make sure that you really research the stock. It could always trade well, but just keep in mind I would research it before holding it for the long term.
Yep. And then with the last question, we have Bravo Mo saying, hey guys, what do you think of GBTC or BCHG? So these are the Bitcoin stocks, Tom. So BCHG and then it was GBTC. So obviously these stocks tend to move up when Bitcoin runs up. Personally, I just like to hold Bitcoin like itself rather than buying it through a trust, but that's just my personal opinion. If you can't buy Bitcoin just by itself, then this can be a great way to follow Bitcoin. But overall, it looks pretty good. Obviously, Bitcoin is extremely volatile. So, we might see, I think the last time I checked, Bitcoin was around 40K. We might see it pull back to 35K or 30K and then go back up to 50K. So it's very volatile just in general. So just make sure to keep that in mind. But what are you thinking, Tom?
Yeah, in the past, this GBTC stock, whenever Bitcoin hit 20,000, then fell back to 3,000, this stock fell from around $40 all the way down to lows of around, let's see, all the way down to like $4. So just keep that in mind that if Bitcoin does go down, this stock can fall 50% plus.
Yep, for sure. And then one more question. It's pretty similar to this question. So we have Slow and Steady saying, thanks guys for another awesome video. While I do not buy Bitcoin or altcoins directly, I do invest in GBTC, which follows Bitcoin, and I have made substantial gains. I feel my money is more secure trading GBTC than using other platforms to directly trade Bitcoin. Do you ever think options might be available on GBTC? Would love to trade some of those. So I'm not sure about that one. I know that Mara, M-A-R-A, has options, and then so does Riot. So, until GBTC does announce options, at least you can trade them through Mara and Riot. And there was actually, I forgot the name of it. I heard that there's actually an options market for Bitcoin now. So, I forgot the exact name of it, but I saw some people talking about it, and even I believe CNBC reporting on it. So that might be another way to kind of trade options using Bitcoin. So overall, Bitcoin's just popping, and I like how there's like a lot of different ways to trade it. You can buy Bitcoin or altcoins directly, or you can go through trust, or you can just buy them through futures. So overall, I just like everything I'm seeing. But with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
The big thing I'm going to be watching, and we talked about it earlier in the video, is NIO. They got that partnership with Nvidia over the weekend, or maybe not a partnership, but they work some type of deal, and they're going to be working on a car together. I think this is going to be huge news for NIO. They're already at all-time highs. I think that we could see them easily break $60 in pre-market on Monday, or even at market open. Hopefully at market open, so that we can all get into the play. But nonetheless, I really like NIO and possibly NVDA for Monday, just given that news with the electric vehicles. And NIO has been one of those companies that has been very hot lately, and they've had a lot of eyes on them. And I think that them getting a partnership with Nvidia is going to be great.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I every single day, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. And if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Tom and I post brand new videos every single day. Comments really help grow our channel. So if you guys could leave a quick comment, Tom and I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, thanks for watching.